Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jupiter James and this is Astro Motivation, where I awaken the astrologer within you and aim to give you a little inspiration and motivation per your unique placement within your birth chart. You know, I really do feel that before a time of iPhones and iPads and this and that, we were a culture and a society that were better able to look up at the stars and understand exactly where our dreams were and how to get them. And so if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and get into it. Today I'm excited to bring you a very interesting topic that has been on my mind, and that is around the dark side to each placements. You know, here on this channel, I do like to offer you the positive and the motivational aspects of each sun sign and moon sign and rising sign, but I also think that it is equally important to know where some of these signs have a bit of duality to them, as is life, right? Everything is dualistic and has an equal good and equal bad. And with the overall understanding of each, you are able to find balance and truth. Okay, so I'm excited to dive deep into this topic with you. I really am gonna offer a little bit of a disclaimer. If you do not want to hear the dark side or some of the negative aspects of these placements, maybe come back on another day, you know, but I am gonna give it to you straight within this video, within each sign, as to what each sign has trouble with and where some of the signs may, you know, struggle with some of the more negative aspects of its nature. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So for my Aries suns, moons, and a little bit of the risers, this energy of Aries is going to be ruled by Mars. And as we know, Mars is the actionary planet. You know, it's where we find our vitality, our warlike spirit. And so for you as an Aries riser, although it is amazing that you are someone that is all about initiation and being first and, you know, going after the things that you want and igniting your warrior spirit, sometimes the dark aspects of this, you know, trait can manifest, all right, in life. You may be someone that has an overarching need to be first or to be the best or to be the only one, right? This can be a little bit where Aries can manifest as sometimes being seen as selfish, or sometimes you can just be a little bit self-interested or only consider yourself within the story of all things, if that makes sense, you know. I don't know why, but whenever I'm talking about Aries energy, I always get the quote that pops in my mind that, like, when you want something done, when you want something done right, you do it yourself, right? And you may feel that. You may over-identify with that type of energy. So sometimes this can make you a little bit too independent. It can make you a little bit too bossy. It can make you someone that is a little impulsive. Maybe you don't think before you act or before you say the thing that you say. And there may also be, because there is this need to be the best or to be first, there could also be a highly competitive spirit. Even when there's no reason to compete, right? You will compete. You will be someone that wants to just show your prowess, if that makes sense. And sometimes if that's overly done, it can manifest in negative ways, you know. So these are some of the negative traits around the Aries energy. If you are Aries sun and Aries moon, let me know in the comments below if some of these things resonate with you. I know you may be a little reluctant to admit that these things manifest, but it is true. You know, you may find that you are someone that is a little bit about me. You know, I want to do it alone. I want to do it independently. I want to do it by myself. And the reason why you may feel this is because you can just get it done quicker, right? When you consider the opinions of others, when you put people in on it, or, you know, when it's collaborative, it may feel slow, it may feel stagnant, whereas when you just do it, it gets done, right? So I completely understand. But again, let me know in the comments below. This is a safe space, okay? I want us all to be able to just offer our, you know, truth within the comments below. That way each of us feels seen within these placements, okay? So let me know if you are an Aries sun, if you're an Aries moon, and if you feel this type of, you know, raw Martian energy. Also, before we go, I do want to give my Aries risers, suns, and moons a little bit of advice. You know, do try to lean in a little bit to collaborative efforts. Do try to lean on others. Do try to, you know, try to ask for help with this energy, okay? Because sometimes, like I said, overly independent energy, you will find that the universe challenges you within certain situations where you are being called to kind of maybe consider others or put others before you, or to, you know, ask for help sometimes, or to collaborate, all right? You will find situations that kind of force you or challenge you to consider that energy, okay? So do know you don't have to do it all alone, my Aries risers, suns, and moons, all right? And that there are other people in the world who are a part of the story just like you, okay? So without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. Bye. For my Taurus risers, suns, and moons, more so my Taurus suns and moons, do know that this is an energy of Venus, okay? Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and in this degree, in this energy, at this octave of Taurus, do know that this is going to be around security and safety and money. And what comes along with security and safety and money is comfort and luxury. And so you may be someone that overly identifies with money, with luxury. All right. Now, this is an energy when you are a Taurus sun, a Taurus moon, where, you know, the dark side to this energy could be that you could be a little bit of a slow mover. You could be someone that is also very, very stubborn, right? You may resist change. Like, you know, it will take divine intervention to get you to do the thing that you know you should be doing, or for you to move forward in life, or for you to change things up, because you will not like change. You know, I always get that quote in my mind whenever I'm talking about Taurian or Tauritian energy. I always get that quote in my mind, like, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? And you may really over identify with that energy of, like, you know, if my apartment is good, if the job is giving me the money, why change it? Like, for what? If the person in my life ain't mad at me too much, if we're not in conflict, why change it? You know, and this may be at times your downfall. This may be at times the dark side that comes out with this energy, because you could be too security seeking. You could be someone that wants too much comfort, right? And that, do know that no change in life, right? No growth in life comes from ultimate comfort. You have to be willing to rock the boat. You have to be willing to, you know, seek better pastures, so to speak, if I'm speaking to the bull within you, right? You have to be able to be a bit malleable. And when you are such a security seeking sign and a safety seeking sign, sometimes you may fear that going to the next thing will throw you off kilter, or you may find that it's not as safe. But, you know, in actuality, you're ruled by Venus. You are gonna be safe. You're gonna be okay. You just need to trust in that a little bit more with this energy, okay? So some of the dark qualities that come out are, you know, your stubbornness, your resistance to change, maybe a little bit of materialism, right? And again, I'm not calling you materialistic. It just is what it is. Here on this 3D plane, comfort usually is matched up and synced up with luxury, right? They go hand in hand. So you will be someone that will be seen as materialistic, and you may even be a bit materialistic, right? And that's okay. Again, this is a safe space. This is a place where we learn. This is a place where we really dive deep, and nothing is off the board, you know, nothing's off the cards here. So we get into all the things, and so no judgment. It just is what it is. It's a Taurus, right? It's a Taurus sun, it's a Taurus moon. You just want comfort. And like I said, down here on this planet, comfort usually goes hand in hand with luxury, right? You may really only want the finest of things, the most high quality of things, right? Because it equals comfort, it equals safety, right? That is the core root of that materialism, or that need to be materialistic, right? And if you are not materialistic, at the very least, you are gonna want comfort, right? You're gonna want, like, things in your home that feel good, that feel great. And the dark side to this is that you can accumulate a lot of that, if that makes sense. You may get stuck in that that environment and just not want to grow from it, or not want to seek beyond it, if that makes sense, okay? So this is some of the dark traits that go along with the Taurus qualities. You know, there aren't many. You are ruled by Venus, so you will be someone that is trying to be balanced, but those are some of the ones that I can find right now off the top of my head as far as the dark qualities that go with Taurus energy, all right? Very slow moving, resistant to change, could be extremely secure seeking and just doesn't want to seek out better pastures. It's hard for you to move forward. You know, those are some of the dark qualities of this sign, okay? So let me know if you resonate with this. Let me know if, you know, you feel this way in your heart, that you know about yourself that you are someone at times that just doesn't want to move forward, that it's hard for you to budge. It's, you know, you are someone that really seeks pleasure and you only want comfort. And sometimes if you can't get that, you don't want to be a part of it, or you don't want to engage with it if it's not luxurious or comfort seeking or offers you materialism. Let me know if that's you a little bit. Again, this is a safe space, and I want us to be able to pour into the comments. That way we are able to pour into each other, and we are able to, you know, find out that we're not so alone in these energies, okay? No judgment, all right? So without further ado, I am wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Gemini suns, moons, and risers, this energy that you are ruled by is going to be ruled by Mercury, okay? So you will have a lot of mercurial energy, and although it is amazing that you are someone that will be very, very, you know, communicative, you'll be someone that knows a lot about a little things, you know, you will be someone that is able to speak to anyone, and you're able to conversate and know the who's who. Some of the dark energy that can come along with the mercurial energy is your need to know it all, okay? Your need to be the one that is always communicating and using your voice. And, you know, although you may have the gift for gab, sometimes you may just use that gift for gab to lie, okay? Or to embellish the truth a little bit, all right? This can be that type of energy. Or you can use that gift for gab to gain petty information, right? Like gossip, or you're just wanting to talk about what's going on in the family, or what's happening in the neighborhood, right? You could be someone that it can manifest or lean into that energy at times when you have a Gemini sun, a Gemini moon, a Gemini rising, okay? And because these things feel good, especially as a Gemini moon, you know, to speak and to express yourself in whatever form it comes out, whether it's you're talking about some of the, you know, larger topics of life, or even the more petty topics of life, like gossiping. This could be something that you may enjoy at times, right? You don't mean any harm. It's just that you got to use that throat, that throat box for something, right? It's so you got to use that mind for something, right? So this is how it will manifest at times when you have a Gemini sun, Gemini moon, Gemini rising. All right. You may also be someone that wants to connect with people just to connect. All right. So as far as it goes for love at times, or even with friendships, you may be someone that bounce around to different people a lot, all right? Because there's a need to connect here. It's a need to gather information. It's not so much that there is a need to, you know, be in everyone's face just to be in everyone's face. It's more so that there's a deeper need to connect, right? You want to know more information, and the way that happens is that you will bounce around, you know, you will be someone that needs that stimulation. You will overly need that mental stimulation, and the minute things get boring, you get bored and you're out. You know, if it's not mentally stimulating you, if it's not exciting, if it's not versatile enough, you will be someone that's a little impatient. You may get a little impatient or frazzled, and you just need to go, right? And so this may be some of the dark sides or darker qualities that come along with that Gemini energy, is that you can be impatient. And if you're not impatient, you can also just be someone that there's an overarching need to understand everything and everyone, and, like, you know, connect with everyone, if that makes sense. There's a big need to connect with this energy, all right? So these are some of the darker qualities that come along with the Gemini energy. Let me know if you resonate with this, all right? Pour into the comments and let me know, and be truthful, be honest. This is a safe place. This is a safe place, okay? And I want us to be able to go back and forth in the comments and really be honest about these darker traits. That way everyone feels seen, you know, and that it lets others know that they're not alone in this energy, okay? So let me know in the comments if some of these traits resonate with you, or if you see some of these darker qualities in yourself. Are you a little impatient at times? Do you just want to know who's across the street and what's going on with them? Or do you want to know and connect with the new neighbor, or you know, you want to know what's going on over there? Let me know, okay? But without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best. Much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Cancer suns, moons, and risers, welcome to the dark side, okay? I'm gonna do my best to be as gentle and as caring with you as possible, because I know with some of the traits that you may have, this may be a bit triggering and a little bit too harsh for you, all right? You may be very sensitive, and that is a dark quality that you may have within you, is your oversensitivity. Now, although that is a gift, right? You being a Cancer riser, your sensitivity is a gift. You know, it is how you are able to attune yourself to the emotional currents of life, and to the rhythms of the universe, you know, and what's happening next. You can be quite intuitive due to your sensitivity. But your sensitivity at times can also make you someone that is extremely, self-protective, right? You could be someone that, because you're so sensitive, sometimes it's hard for you to take criticism. It's hard for you to take constructive criticism. It's hard for you to, take the opinions of others, with this energy of being overly sensitive, or even your oversensitivity. Even if no one's saying anything about you or talking about you, your oversensitivity of just life itself can keep you very shielded. It could keep you very to yourself. You could always be in the house, in the bed, just in your home, hiding from the world, because you can be overly sensitive. You feel everything. Again, it's a gift and it's a drawback, and it does lean into one of the dark side and the dark qualities of Cancer. Another dark side of the Cancerian traits is that there could be emotional manipulation. You will be the master of emotions. You really will. And although in this lifetime, especially my Cancer sons, although you will be someone that is able to somewhat master your emotions, you will also have the uncanny ability to master the emotions of others, to corral the emotional energy of a room. You will know how to do it. You will know how to emotionally manipulate others with this energy. You may be a world-class guilt tripper with this energy, okay? Again, it's a safe space. This is, a non-judgmental forum, all right? We are just diving deep into the dark side of each trait. This is a learning tool, okay? So those are some of the darker aspects to the Cancerian energy. Another dark side or qualities that can manifest within the Cancerian energy is your need to, you could be very possessive or overly clingy towards others, right? You could also be someone who is very, very ruled by the emotions, okay? And that can sometimes have you being someone that has a lot of mood swings. And that can be seen, again, it can be seen as something that is a dark quality of yours, because one day you're happy, the next day you're sad. One day you're on top of the world, the next day you're under the bed, crying. And that can be seen to the people around you as like, what is going on with so-and-so? Like, geez, I don't understand them, because one minute they're happy, but then the next time I can't find them, or they don't want to come outside, or they don't want to talk to me. Like, what is going on? And they can't get it because you won't tell them, right? You will be someone that may not reveal exactly how you feel so readily, especially if you aren't comfortable with someone. That can be some of the darker qualities of this Cancerian energy. It is you living in your shell. It's you dealing with the emotional currents in your shell, all right? Now, also, what I would say with this energy of the Cancer is, like, some of the darker qualities can manifest as you could be extremely nostalgic, right? You could be extremely nostalgic with this energy, okay? You could be someone that is like nostalgic to the point where you want to save and hoard everything. You want to save old mementos. You want to save your baby pacifier. You may want to save old clothes that you can't fit, not because you believe that you can fit into them, but because you may think or feel that you just want to be connected to a time, right? You want to be connected to a time where you met a person while you were wearing that outfit, and although you can't fit that anymore, it's connected to a time. It's connected to a nostalgic moment. It's connected to a feeling, right? So you could be someone who's overly nostalgic with this energy, right? You can hold on to things with this energy of the Cancer. In energy, some of the darker traits and qualities could be that you can really hold on to old hurts or old pain or old things that happened 10, 20 years ago, and you're like, what are you still harboring that for? That happened 20 years ago. And you're like, for me, it feels like it happened yesterday. That betrayal, that hurt, that comment that person made, it feels like it happened yesterday. It can feel like that with this energy because it becomes a part of your emotional aura, if that makes sense. It becomes a part of your emotional personality with this energy, you being a Cancer sun, Cancer moon, Cancer rising. Okay, so these are some of the darker qualities to that Cancerian energy. You could be very, very, sensitive. You could be very, very sensitive to criticism. You could be very sensitive to life itself. You could be someone that really hides out in your home quite often, maybe not want to come out of your shell, maybe not want to reveal your emotions. You may even be someone that may attack others or approach things in a very sideways manner. You may not attack things head on. You may do it in a very indirect manner. You may go around the tree to get around it, if that makes sense. You know, you may attack the problem not head on, but in a very indirect way, okay? Think about it, you know, a crab walks sideways. Think about that, right? A crab is walking sideways, and the symbolism of Cancer is the crab. And so, you know, those are some of the parallels there, is that you will attack things sideways. You will go about it in a very roundabout way, if that makes sense. Now, yeah, let me know if some of these darker traits and qualities manifest for you, or if you feel them, or if you honor them within yourself, if you see or recognize them within yourself. Let me know, okay? This is a safe space, okay? I want us to be able in the comments to go back and forth with each other to reveal what is really happening within the energy that we are dealing with. That way we don't feel so alone or so crazy at times, you know? So let me know in the comments below if any of these darker traits and qualities manifest for you, okay? Are you someone that has trouble getting out of the house, okay? Are you someone that has trouble getting out of your feelings? Are you someone that has trouble expressing your feelings, okay? Let me know, okay? Because you could be very guarded with this energy, and sometimes, like I said, there's beauty to this energy. And go peruse my channel. I've gone into depth around the beauty and the gifts and the blessings around the Cancerian energy, but some of the darker traits to this quality are definitely there. Okay, so without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Leo suns, moons, and risers, welcome to the dark side, okay? So with your energy, you are ruled by the luminary of the sun, okay? So this is gonna be where, you know, some of the positive qualities of this energy is that you are gonna be someone that lights up a room. You are gonna be someone that's very warm, very inviting, very bubbly. You may want to offer happiness and joy to other people, or just be a positive force in other people's lives. But as does energy goes within our life and within our existence, no energy is one way all the time. You know, there are always negative manifestations that come along with everything in our lives. You know, there's an equal good, there's an equal bad. There's always an opposite side to the coin in life, okay? And so Leo energy is no different. And so for you, some of the darker qualities that may manifest with this energy is that, you know, you may be a victim of that Leo pride. You know, you will be someone with Leo pride who sometimes your pride gets in the way. Sometimes your pride could be too big for the room, or too big for the situation, or too big for the relationship, right? And so sometimes you being able to see through your pride, you being able to get over your pride, can prevent you from certain things in life. You know, your ego could be very, very large and intact. And again, although that is a blessing and that is good, sometimes and in certain situations you will be faced with the challenge to let go of the ego and let go of some of your pride, you know, because there is a need with this energy, and a lot of people don't know this with the Leo energy, that there is a need to be the best and to be perfect, okay? And if you can't show up in that way all the time, or be in that situation at that time in that way, then you may not want to be a part of it. You may not want to be a part of that situation, that job, that experience, that friendship, that moment. You may not want to be a part of it, okay? Because you always want to be seen as someone who is perfect and happy and bubbly. And do know that life is never always going to be able to hold you in that regard at all times, you know? And so this is where some of those darker traits may manifest. You may also be someone on the same vein with this energy who could be, you know, it's ironic with this Leo energy. Again, a lot of people don't know this, but some of the darker qualities to Leo energy is that you can be incredibly jealous at times, right? Although people may be jealous of you, you at times, and you'll never show it, and you'll probably never admit it. You know, you'll probably fight me to the death about this energy, but sometimes if you walk into a room and you aren't the one lighting it up the most, you may not, again, you may not want to be a part of it. You may, all right, I'm out. I'll see y'all later, because someone else is lighting up the room. You know, someone else is gaining the attention. So this is something that the Leo energy may suffer from, is that Leo pride, large ego, a need to be perfect, a need to be the best, you know, and those are some of the, you know, ways that can happen. Another thing with this energy is that with the Leo energy, there can be a need to always be happy or always put out the imagery that you are happy or living life or doing the thing, or you're going to be the model citizen for joy, happiness, abundance, living large, doing it right, and so again, sometimes that can be the darker side to that energy, is that it can drive you a little mad at times. Behind closed doors, you could be like, geez, I'm always the one having to put on a good face, I'm always the one having to be the warm and inviting and bubbly one, but behind closed doors you may be battling those demons around your need to show a different side to who you are, So this is that energy that comes about when you are a Leo sun, a Leo riser, a Leo moon, all right? Is that need to kind of just keep up that imagery of that appearance of you're the happy one, you're the good one, you're the warm one, you're the inviting one, you're the one that everyone wants to be around, and that comes with a certain amount of pressure, okay? And a personal pressure that you put on yourself to be perfect, to be that way, if that makes sense. So those are some of the energies that can come along with this, okay? So let me know in the comments below. Remember, this is a safe space, and I know this may be a little bit of a different form for you to put yourself out there in as far as the Leo energy goes, but do know that in your ability to be honest and open and transparent, you are not only helping yourself, but you are helping those around you to feel seen and understood. So go ahead and let it be known in the comments if you resonate with any of these traits or qualities of the darker aspects to this Leo energy, because it can help you and it can help those around you. Okay, so my Leo suns, my Leo risers, my Leo moons, continue to shine, continue to be yourself, but also go easy on yourself, okay? Because that need to be perfect can drive you crazy sometimes, all right? That need to be the best can drive you crazy sometimes, okay? So relax, it's okay, all right? Also, learn to open up a little bit more. Learn to really show the truth of who you are at your core, not just the surface bubbly side, the surface, glamorous side. Learn to show the truth of who you are at your core, because at your core, a lot of people don't know this, at your core, you are incredibly deep, but people who only really get to know you behind closed doors will see that. But if you show a little bit more of that vulnerability, which you may struggle with, you will be better served in life, okay? Another darker or more negative aspect to the Leo energy is that you could suffer from anxiety, okay? The need to be perfect, the need to be the best, the need to have every hair, in place, the need to just show up on the scene and always be the one that's being happy, bubbly, warm, inviting. It can offer you a lot of anxiety. Again, a lot of people don't know that there are some internal battles that the Leo energy struggles with. To be that way comes with a certain amount of pressure, and it can come with some anxieties there, all right? So those are some of the negative aspects that come along with that Leo energy, all right? So without further ado, I am wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Virgo suns, Virgo moons, Virgo risers, welcome to the dark side, okay? So as we know, this energy of the Virgo is going to be ruled by Mercury, okay? So this is going to be some mercurial energy manifesting here in this energy of Virgo. And, as we know, in the universe, everything has duality, all right? Nothing is ever one way. And so although it is a blessing that you are someone that is very orderly, you're very organized, you may be someone in the room full of 1,000 people, you may be the only one doing it the right way, right? That is a beautiful gift that you have, right? You have the ability to transform situations with your insights and with your help and with your service. Do know that also can be some of the drawbacks. That can also be where some of the dark side qualities manifest in life, all right? Energy in life never gives you just the positive. You always get the positive with the negative. There's always an equal pro, equal con to everything in life, all right? Just think of something and it will come with an equal pro, equal con. And with you being my Virgo riser, my perfect Virgo risers, do know that that is something that is hard for you to understand, because you will want perfection, you will want purity, you will want order to an almost intense degree. And that in and of itself can drive you to overwork, overserve, overdo, and over-maintain to the degree where it then provides so much anxiety within you, a rigidity inside of you, you could be someone that if things aren't a certain way in the way that you want them to be, you don't want any part of it, or you may check out, or you may disengage, or you may go the other way, or you may not be able to absorb the details, the criticism, the insights of others with this energy, okay? You can also be someone who's highly critical of yourself and highly critical of others. You know, with that Virgo energy, do know that there is this innate insecurity there. You know, I hate to say that with this energy of Virgo, and that's due to the fact that Virgo's energy is reliant on being able to serve others, to help others, to step into someone's life and make their life better. And what happens when no one wants your help? What happens when no one wants your opinion? What happens when no one needs you to do something for them? Where does that leave you, right? And so you may feel that. You may feel that antsiness. You may feel at times like, geez, if I'm not able to help someone, if I'm not able to serve someone, if I'm not able to improve someone's life with at least my opinion, with at least my words of insight, at the very least, right? Then who am I? What do I have to offer? Am I not good enough? You know, you'll start to feel that way with this energy. And that's just because this is the way the Virgo energy is built. It's the way it's designed, is that you are built to be someone who is helping others, who is serving others, who is making a difference in other people's lives. And when you can't do that, it can provide, you know, a little bit of a vacancy within you. It can provide some anxieties within you, right? And this energy may also play out with, even if it's not others, this may play out within your own life. You know, you may want to always clean your home, right? You may always want to offer order or expertise, or, you know, perfect something within your house or within your life or within your body or within who you are. And there's always this feeling of you're never good enough. It's never good enough, right? You could look in the mirror and it could be quite perfect, right? You could have the perfect body, the perfect home, the perfect setup, and still there will be something in the corner of that home bugging you. Still there will be something on the body that is bugging you, right? That you just need to perfect, because for you, it's like you want complete purity and perfection. And one of the biggest things that I was telling you in the beginning of the video is that one of the hardest lessons for you to learn in this life is that there's no such thing as perfection, all right? Perfection does not exist. You can get close to it, right? But the minute you get close to it, something else is gonna happen, you see, because there's no such thing. And that is something in your life that you are here to learn to kind of let go. And the same is true within your personal value systems and your self-worth systems, is that sometimes, you know, your help is just not going to be needed. Sometimes you've done all that you can do for someone, and if they aren't willing to help themselves, that is not a reflection on you. You know, you can only do what you can do. You are only human at the end of the day, and you must remember that, my Virgo risers. You are only human, all right? You are not a perfect vessel. You are not a robot. You are a human being. All right, living an imperfect experience. This entire experience that we are having as human beings is an imperfect experience, and that's what makes it perfect. But that is something that is hard for you to grasp, okay? So watch out for anxieties, watch out for insecurities, you know, watch out for the never good enough syndrome, watch out for the over-serving or the over-giving or the overarching need to, you know, criticize or perfect things with this energy, whether it be in yourself or others, because those are some of the darker traits that come out with this energy of Virgo, okay? You could also be a bit bossy, right? You could be very bossy. You could really want things the way that you want them. And if they're not the way that you want them or the way that you see them in your head, you're not gonna tolerate it. You're not gonna like it, okay? So this is that type of energy, all right? And again, even me saying this, right? This may be a video that you are having such a hard time watching. You're just like probably cringing because you're just like, oh no, what? I'm not perfect? What? I'm doing all, what? It's okay, all right? Because with the Virgo energy, you will really, a lot like my Cancer, risers, suns, and moons, you will really struggle with criticism, because there's, you know, you wake up and you're just like, everything you are doing is to ensure that no one can criticize you, right? Everything that you are doing in life is to ensure that no one can say, oh, you're slacking on this or you're not doing that, right? So when someone does come in and see the flaw, right, you can't handle it. So I know this video may be a bit tough for you to, you know, absorb or to handle, but do know that I am with you. I am holding your hand. It is all good, all right? We are just all here on a, you know, human experience, you know, here on the universe, all right? Another negative trait or quality that can manifest within the Virgo energy is that there's this overarching need to be busy. Okay, you could just be busy for busy's sake, all right? Because again, this mercurial energy is highly It's very, very mercurial. That's the best way that I can explain it. It's very active, if that makes sense. It's very cerebral, and so it needs something to enact itself upon, you know, whether it's perfecting something, cleaning something, serving someone, saying something. It needs action, it needs energy, it needs stimulation. You could be highly stimulated, a highly stimulated person, and sometimes, like I said, you could just be busy to be busy, because you could be, when you are in your alone time, when you can't just sit down and watch TV. You can't just sit down on a Saturday and just hang out, because for you, you need to be doing something. You need to be perfecting something, or working on something, or refining something, or getting better. There's an overarching need for this energy when you have a Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising. So let me know in the comments below if you resonate with that. Are you someone that just can't sit still? You feel guilty when you sit still. You feel guilty when you are, you know, able to just have nothing on your schedule. If you could be someone with this Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising energy, that you could have cleaned your house top to bottom. You could have done all the things on your to-do list. You could have got all your errands done. You could have done all your homework. You could have done all the things that you needed to do, right? And when it comes time to sit on that couch and just breathe and hang out, you're like, nope, I'm gonna find something to do. I'm gonna add something else to the schedule. You know, it can be that type of energy where there's just this overarching need to be busy and be productive, and that's because you may apply a lot of your self-worth and a lot of your self-confidence in that busyness, okay, in that productivity. All right, so that is where some of the darker aspects manifest with this energy, okay, is that you just can't relax. You can't just be, right? So let me know if you resonate with this, all right? So let me know if any of these things resonate with you. Do you struggle with any of these traits or qualities of, you know, insecurity, overserving, overdoing, overworking? You know, let me know in the comments below, all right? Do you have a perpetual I'm not good enough syndrome, or it's not good enough syndrome? Let me know in the comments below. This is a safe space, all right? This is a space where through your ability to offer your input can not only help me, but it helps those around you to not feel so alone. You know, it helps the other Virgo suns, moons, and risers out there feel like they aren't crazy by you pouring into the comments saying, hey, you know what? Yes, those things kind of do manifest, and I never knew why. That could help some people, okay? So let's go at it in the comments. Let's go dive deep, and I'm wishing you all the best. All right, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed, and be easy on yourself. Bye. For my Libra suns, moons, and risings, welcome to the dark side, okay? So I'm gonna be my best, do my best to be as gentle and as nurturing and as caring as far as this topic goes. Do know that with everything in life, and I'm sure you are no stranger to this lesson that I'm about to present for you, is that everything has duality, all right? Everything is a pro, everything is a con. You can look around at anything in your home, anything in your life, anything occurring in life, everything has a pro and everything has a con, and astrology is no different. The energy in astrology is no different. And although you are ruled by a very benefic and positive Venus, right, that is all about balance and harmony and grace, you are probably going to be no stranger to the duality of those things, all right? Because as a Libra sun, as a Libra riser, as a Libra moon, you are meant to bring a little bit of chaos to order. You are meant to bring justice to, you know, disorder with this energy, all right? You are meant to be a balance and harmonizing force, but how could you be a balance and harmonizing force if there's nothing to balance, right? If there's no bad on the opposite side of you, then what is the need for Libra to come in and balance or be offering grace to? Does that make sense? So you, out of anyone, should be no stranger to this lesson of duality, right? And so even within yourself, right, there are things to balance. There are negative traits and qualities that will manifest out of this Venusian energy. And some of the negative traits and qualities that can manifest through this energy is your overarching need to be someone who is in connection with others. You may really, really apply your self-worth to the opinions of others, who you know, who you don't know, who you connect with, who you can be with, right? Your romantic world, your friendships, your connections in life are gonna be very, very tied to your self-worth. It's almost like you can't sleep at night until something in your social world is balanced, unless it's right, unless it's perfect, if that makes sense, okay? So this is gonna be some of the negative qualities that come along with this energy. There may also be this overarching need to be someone that is seen as good in other people's eyes all the time, you know, whether it be for your style or your approach or who you are. You will never want to ruffle feathers. You will always be someone that wants to be seen in a good light towards others. And sometimes even your overarching need to be that way, to be too kind, to be too sweet, to be too over accommodating, can backfire on you. All right, because remember, not only are you meant to temper and balance others in life or the situations that you're a part of, but you're also here to learn to temper and balance the imbalances within you. And too much of anything is a bad thing. And ironically enough, you may find as a Libra riser that when you are too sweet to people, when you are too nice to someone, when you are caring too much about people, that's actually when people walk all over you. That's when people kind of don't respect you, right? And you may be like, what? Like, I'm being kind, I'm being sweet, I mean well, why? Because too much of anything is a bad thing. And sometimes with this Venusian energy and these Libra qualities, because there is such a need to focus on the other, because there's such a need to kind of bend over backwards for other people or be over accommodating, right? Or ride the fence too much, it can make it to where people don't respect you, right? You have to be someone who is able to be balanced, who is deserving of that respect, who is deserving of that kindness, who is deserving of that sweetness that you have in you. You see, that's something that you're here to learn, right? And so those are some of the darker qualities to this Libra energy, all right? Is your need to connect, your overarching need to connect with others, to be with others, to be in relation with others. You may care so much what other people think. You never want to ruffle feathers. You may struggle standing up for yourself. You may struggle choosing yourself with this energy, okay? And yeah, that is what can be seen with this energy, all right? You can be also someone that really wants to play up appearances for other people, right? In the social world of things, you may just, if it means you being someone in the social world that you are in, you are seen as someone who is lovable, a connecting force, someone that everyone wants to connect with, you will do whatever it takes to uphold that image, right? If that means, you know, lying to yourself or keeping up a certain personality or imagery or whatever it may be, you will do it in order to connect with others, okay? Because connection is like the trophy for you, if that makes sense. And sometimes that in and of itself is a darker quality, right? So that is what comes along with this energy. Let me know if this resonates with you, all right? Let me know if you see or recognize some of these darker qualities within yourself. Do know that this is a safe space, okay? And within this forum, within these comment sections, I want us to use this space as a way to connect with others, you know, for you to be like, hey, yeah, I do kind of see those traits within myself. I don't like them, but it is what it is, right? And that in and of itself is able to not only help me, but to help others around you to feel seen and not feel so, you know, alone. Because when we deal with these things on our own, we may feel like, ugh, am I crazy or is it just me? But, you know, if you write in the comments, hey, you know, I kind of do see that within myself, you make others feel seen. You make others feel like, hey, maybe this is just a Libra experience and we're all dealing with it together, right? So that is what comes along with the Libra energy. Let me know if this resonates with you. And without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. Bye. For my Scorpio suns, moons, and risers, welcome to the dark side. And I'm sure for you, this is no stranger. You are no stranger to the dark side, okay? You are no stranger to the things that people maybe want to sweep under the rug and not really face. And so that's a beautiful gift that you have within itself. But even with you being someone that is attuned to the dark, do know that there is still, even within that, a darker side to this energy. You know, there are darker traits and qualities to the Scorpionic energy, all right? And so some of the darker sides to this energy is that you could be a little too low-key, okay? You could be someone a little bit too skeptical of others, all right? You may be someone that is always maybe looking over your shoulder or really trying to tap into what the hidden motivations of others are. You know, your ability to give someone the benefit of the doubt is the negative. You know, you're like, I'm not giving no one the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, why are you in my face? Why are you talking to me? What do you want? What do you want? Right? It's always that type of energy. Now, another type of darker quality that can manifest from this energy is your need. You may struggle letting go. All right, and do know that that is kind of the secret when it comes to the Scorpionic energy, is your ability to let going of control, letting go of power, letting go of jealousy, letting go of your need to, you know, hold on to things, right? Or to control things, that you will have those qualities within you, right? You may not think you do because it's very subtle, but you do, right? Whether it's emotional control, whether it's control within your homes or the people around you, you will, or just control of you and who you are. You will want control of the situation. You will want control to some degree, all right? And your magic prospers in life when you learn to let it go. Let it all go, you know, letting go of the need to kind of, you know, dominate or to control things or to hold on to things too tightly. You are meant to flow in life, all right? You could take a lot of advice and a lot of characteristics from Pisces, and it may help you. You need to allow things to just let it go, right? That person that's looking at you crazy across the street, let it go. The person who's jealous of you, let it go. Your life is changing and it's in disarray, let it go, right? But as a Scorpio sun, as a Scorpio riser, you will come into life trying to fight these things. You will come into life trying to control it. You will come into life saying, you're looking at me crazy? Oh, I'm gonna look at you crazier. You know, oh, it'll be that type of energy. Oh, you wanna emotionally manipulate me? Oh, I'm gonna emotionally manipulate you 10 times harder. You just wait, you just watch. You know, it could be that energy, but the secret, as I'm telling you, in life for you as a Scorpio, is to learn to let it go. All right, and that may be something that is a lifelong lesson for you, because you're like, I'm gonna get my lick back. Oh no, I'm gonna get my lick back, you know? And that is a darker trait within itself, is your need for revenge, your need to get your lick back, whether it be on a physical plane or a karmic plane or a spiritual plane. You're gonna get your lick back. You feel like, no one's gonna get one over on me. So that is how this can manifest with this energy, okay? Now there also can be a need to really know everything. And I don't mean knowing things about math or science or, you knowing things about, what is on the news or what's in politics. No. What you want to know is the secrets of life, right? You want to know the intentions of others. You want to know the things that people don't reveal, right? You are someone that is always holding a magnifying glass up to others, not to know what is in their bank account, but what's in their soul, what's in their spiritual essence. That is what you want to know. And you're not only holding that magnifying glass up to others, you're also holding that magnifying glass up to the sky and to the universe and to God. You want to know, you want to understand the inner workings of everything, because here it is, because even that in and of itself is control. You see, if you know everything, no one can get anything up on you. Not a person, not God, not the universe. If you know everything, no one can get one over on you. You see, no one can be 5 steps ahead of you, because you're 5 steps ahead of everyone else, because you've already know what that person's soul is saying, or what that person's motivations are, or what transits are going to be happening in the sky that's going to, happen this day or happen that. Let it go. Let it go. So those are some of the dark qualities of my Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio risers, okay? You can really struggle with control. You could really be someone that can be too low-key, too mysterious at times. You could be someone that really, really does struggle with giving people the benefit of the doubt. You could be very skeptical of others, okay? And yes. All right, so I'm giving you some remedies as to how to get over some of those dark qualities, all right? But do know that there are some gifts, and of course I have gone through extensive videos around some of the gifts and beauty around the scorpionic energy, and I'm never asking that you change, you just be you. But let me know in the comments below if you resonate with some of those darker qualities, all right? Do know that this is a safe space. We are all here to help each other grow and learn about our personal energies within our souls and within who we are. And by you pouring into the comments and being very transparent and say, hey, yeah, I do struggle with that a little bit. I do notice that about myself a little bit. Not only does it help me, but it helps those around you to feel seen and understood, okay? So definitely go at it in the comments and let us know what you experience. What are some of the darker qualities that you possess within you? And if you resonate with some of the ones that I've named here in the video, all right? But without further ado, my Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio risers, I want you to exercise your vulnerability, exercise your trust in the unknown, exercise your ability to be someone that lets it go. And I promise you, you will skate through life. For my Sagittarius suns, moons, and risers, welcome to the dark side, okay? So do know that everything in life comes with duality, all right? You can pick out a situation, an object in your home, you know, a relationship that you have with someone, you know, a job that you have. Everything in life comes with a pro and a con, and that's just the way that this universe is designed, all right? And so the Jupiterian, Sagittarian energy is no different. You are ruled by the great benefic of Jupiter, you know, luck, expansion, you know, exploration, knowledge is going to be something that you really identify with in this life. And it's going to be baked into the blessings that you are able to gain in life through. Okay. And so do know that even within this very benefic energy, there are sometimes, right, some dark aspects that can be manifest or can come out through this energy of the Sagittarian qualities in life. And for you, some of the biggest ones are, you know, for you, you will never be satisfied with what's happening today, with what's happening now. You may always be someone who, through your need to understand the bigger questions of life, through your need to explore the things that you have yet to explore, you're probably always thinking of tomorrow. You're thinking of, you know, where you could be, right? In the now, right now, while you're watching this video, like, this is great, but I gotta go chase this. I gotta go do that. And so sometimes that can have you missing the beautiful moments that are present in your face in the now, okay? Because that Sagittarian energy can make you someone that's quite impatient. That's a negative quality within itself, right? A darker aspect of itself is that you can be very impatient. If something isn't offering you meaning, if something isn't answering some of the bigger questions in your life, or if it's not scratching that wanderlust itch within you, right? You may not find importance within it. You may be like, ugh, this isn't the conversation for me, this isn't the person for me, this isn't the job for me, gotta go. You know, you will feel that energy to a very intense degree, all right? There will also be this overly, and I don't want you to change it, okay? Because this, although is a darker quality, it can be used to your advantage. It usually is used to your advantage, but you could be a big dreamer. You could be overly idealistic and overly optimistic at times, you know? And it isn't until that thing that you are dreaming about or that you are overly idealistic about comes true that then you are validated for, that others validate you for it. But in your mind and in your heart, you're like, no, this is what's gonna happen. Like, I am gonna be a CEO of this, and I am able to do that, and I'm gonna manifest this, and I'm gonna manifest that, and the people around you're like, okay, cool. You know, so that is a great quality, but sometimes it can lead you down some very, you know, crazy paths, if that makes sense with this energy, okay? Let's see, you could also be someone that has the know-it-all syndrome, all right? You could be very preachy, very teachy, and even to your teachers, you could be like, ugh, my teacher's an idiot. Like, I don't even need to be here. I need to be on a plane somewhere discovering the real secrets of Machu Picchu and the Aztec mountains. You know, you could be that way, where you really are someone that, you could be quite the know-it-all, all right? And again, that for me, I feel like that's not a negative quality, but it can be seen as a negative quality. It is, you know, sometimes you just don't want to be taught. You want to be the one teaching, you want to be the one exploring, you want to be the one discovering with this energy. You as a Sagittarius riser, sun, or moon, you are someone that may struggle sitting at the feet of others and soaking up their knowledge, because you are someone that may want your knowledge expressed. You may be someone that's like, I want to teach you. Let me tell you something about life. Let me teach you something about the bigger picture of what the world is about. You know, you will feel that way. There's also a darker side to this energy of the Sagittarius energy, is that you may be someone who may find, or you may come to find, that you don't resonate with your inherent culture, town, city, neighborhood, or family with this energy. You may feel too big for the neighborhood you grew up in. You may feel too big for the city in which you came from. You may feel too expansive for the family in which you grew up in. And sometimes that can make you a little distant from them, unfortunately, with this energy of, you know, the Sagittarian qualities. If you have heavy Sagittarian energy, you know, Sagittarius sun, Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius riser, you will be a bit distant from your origins with this energy. And that is a darker side to things, and I don't want you to change it, because that is just how it's designed. It's supposed to be that way, because how else are you supposed to expand your horizons and your knowledge if you don't leave, if you don't go away, if you don't explore the world, right? You can't do that in the safety net of your own home, or within your family unit, or within the city that you've come from, or within the race or culture that you're a part of. You get that expansion by moving, by leaving, by exploring. So it's designed in the way that it is, but that is a pain that comes with that. You know, you may sit down sometimes and say, wow, you know, I wish my family understood what I understand. I wish my family could see all the beautiful things that I'm seeing. I wish my family was brave enough to, you know, relocate and go see all these things and try these new foods and mingle with this different culture, because they would be able to see what I see. And sometimes that is some of the pain that comes with being the great explorer or the great expander or the great, you know, philosopher of life. It's that the origins in which you are from, you may feel disconnected from, unfortunately. And that is a darker side to these qualities of Sagittarius. Okay, so let me know if you resonate with this. Let me know if there are any dark qualities that you may find that comes about with the Sagittarian energy. Do know that this is a safe space, okay? I want us to get used to pouring into the comments. That way we are pouring into each other, right? By you being open and transparent about these darker qualities that the Sagittarian energy may come about, it lets me know and those around you that they are not alone, all right? That they aren't so crazy, all right? So let me know in the comments below if this resonates with you. I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Capricorn suns, moons, or risers, welcome to the dark side, okay? So do know that with everything in life, right, there are darker aspects to everything, okay? You can look at an object in your home, a situation in your family, a relationship that you have, a job that you have. Anything in life is going to come with its pros and cons, and the energy in astrology is no stranger to that design, to that law, so to speak, okay? And so the Capricornian energy is no stranger to this, because you are kind of ruled by a Saturnian energy, which can be seen as dark or a little bit more malefic or not so pleasant, right? And for you, with this energy, some of the darker qualities, although you are someone that the beautiful thing about your energy is that you are going to be someone who's ambitious. You're going to be someone who is meant to leave a legacy for yourself. You're meant to find success in life. Some of the darker qualities can manifest from that. You could be someone that's overly ambitious. You could be someone who overly identifies with your career, your job, your status, the public image that you portray, the role in which you hold within the world. You know, you could really be overly dependent and over identify with this energy to the degree where it can sometimes it can make you be seen as someone who could be a bit heartless or rigid or uptight, because you are so focused on the legacy, you are so focused on the role that you've got, you are focused on being someone that is respectable, right? And those are some of the darker qualities that can manifest with this energy. You could have a hard time having fun, right? Because having fun is taking your eyes off the goal, it's taking your eyes off the money, it's taking your eyes off of what's happening at the job. You know, your ability to let go and let your hair down can be tough for you, right? Even in your general personality, you could be someone that's just very by the book. You're very business in the personality. You don't even have to be at work, but you could just be very, you know, like you got your stuff together, right? And sometimes just to relax, let the shoulders down, you know, let some of the poise go can be hard for you with this energy of the Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon, or Capricorn rising, all right? You could be very serious to an intense degree when you are a Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon, Capricorn rising, and this can be a darker trait, a darker quality of yours, is your inability to kind of let go and just enjoy the fruits of life, or even to enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? You could just be working, accumulating all these great things, making all the money, but you never enjoy it because you're always at the company, you're always at the job, you're always doing something for the organization with this energy. You're always on the way to get that success or to get that promotion, but you've got all these great things, but you can't enjoy them, right? So this is going to be some of the darker aspects to the Capricorn energy, is that you could be very status driven, you could care about your public image, you could care about career to an intense degree, you could be overly ambitious, you know, you may never feel quite satisfied. You could be at the top of your game or the top of your field and you feel like, I want to go even further. There's more to do. I have yet to hit the ceiling. You could hit the ceiling and you want to make another ceiling to hit with this energy of a Capricorn sun, Capricorn rising energy, okay? You could be all about status, all right? So let me know if some of these darker aspects and darker qualities manifest or resonate for you in life, okay? This is a safe space. Do know that this is a non-judgmental space. I want you to write in the comments below what you feel, what you acknowledge, what you resonate with, what you see within your own personality, because these things not only help me, but they help the people around you. They help the other Capricorn suns, moons, and risers out there who may struggle with certain things. It makes them feel a little less crazy. If you come on the scene and say, hey, you know what, I kind of do see that within myself, it makes others feel seen, and it makes it not so much of a personal thing that you are harboring, or a personal burden that you may be harboring, but maybe it's just a collective Capricorn experience, right? And that in and of itself is very healing. It's very, it lessens the pressure on you, right? And as you know, you being a Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon, Capricorn rising, the less pressure, the better, all right? Because you just being a Capricorn in general is a pressurized type of energy, all right? So go ahead and go at it in the comments. Let me know what resonates with you, and you know, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. Have a little bit more fun, okay? Because what is that saying that says all work and no play makes for a spoiled boy or girl, right? And another quote that comes to me is, what is it to gain the world but lose your soul in the process, right? So those two quotes I want you to kind of live by and kind of honor. When you feel yourself being a little too ambitious, too rigid, too uptight, too overly focused, go back to those two quotes, okay? Because they can really help you, you know, align yourself, all right? Just to let some things go a little, all right? So without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Aquarius suns, moons, and risers, welcome to the dark side, okay? So as we know, when it comes to our material universe and just our universe in general, everything has duality, all right? Nothing in our world, nothing in our existence is ever one way, or ever perfect, or overly good all the time, or, you know, overly bad all the time. And so energy in astrology is no different to this, okay? There will always be gifts that come along with the Aquarian energy, and I've gone in such depth over my channel as to some of the gifts and the blessings that come along with you being an Aquarius sun, moon, or riser. But I also think that it is very important to dive deep into the negative manifestations and negative aspects of your particular sign. That way you know the knowledge, you know the cautionary tales that can come along with these things, and that way you are well-rounded within your personal energy. You know what is you, if that makes sense, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. You are going to be someone with this Aquarius sun, Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising. You're going to be ruled by Saturn and Uranian energy, all right? And those are kind of dual within itself. If you think about it, you know, Uranus energy is going to be highly chaotic, highly different, highly, you know, unconventional, whereas Saturn is going to want to stick to tradition. It's going to want to do things the more, you know, traditional way, and the more structured way, whereas Uranus wants radicalism. It wants unconventionality. It wants progressives, you know, it wants progressive things in life, right? So that in and of itself is quite a chaotic mix. It's quite a dualistic mix, and you may feel that within your energy, right? You may, on one hand, want success, but you want success in a very untraditional way. You may want love, but you want love to come about or be untraditional, right? That is kind of the mix and the duality within itself. Now, the darker side to this energy of the Aquarian nature could be, you could be someone that just wants to be different for the sake of being different. You don't know why, but you just don't ever want to follow the status quo, right? You could be someone in your friend group where everyone says, you know what, we are going to wear jeans on Tuesday, and you will come on Tuesday with shorts and a skirt. You know, you just don't want any type of, it's ironic because the Aquarian energy is all around camaraderie and, you know, community efforts, and, you know, you being someone that is humanitarian, but at the same time, personally, you may want to be an individual amongst the collective, if that makes sense. And you will really be someone who protects your individuality to an extreme degree. All right, so that would have you playing out in ways that could be very unconventional, chaotic, you know, shocking or unexpected, right? You could be someone that is seen as very different or rebellious with this energy, okay? And so that could be some of the darker aspects of life, is that you really do not ever want to do things the way they've been done. You want to always reinvent, innovate, do it differently, right? Even if the way it's been done is successful, even though if the way that it's been done is good, even if the way that it has been done is easier, you will be someone that wants to reinvent it and go down a road less traveled in order to maintain your individuality. And that in and of itself can be somewhat of a negative trait or negative quality of yours, right? Also, a negative quality and trait that can come along with the Aquarian energy is detachment, okay? Because you are quite a visionary, right? You will always be thinking about the future. You will always be thinking about an innovative way to do things, right? You will somewhat be detached from the now, all right? It reminds me a little bit of that Sagittarian energy where you will be a bit detached, all right? Emotionally, especially my Aquarius moons, you may be someone that overly intellectualizes things, right? You may be in your head a little bit too much, to a degree where you may feel a little cold to others at times, or you may feel a little unfeeling to others at times, right? Your ability to tap into your personal emotions or how you feel can be hard for you, because sometimes you could be like, you know, that I feel sad, but you don't feel sad, if that makes sense. You could be thinking that, like, you know, that kind of angers me a little bit. I wonder why that angers me. You know, I think it angers me because of A, because of B, because of C. But, you know, if I do put that into perspective, it's almost as if like you're putting emotions into ChatGPT that's in your mind. You know, if that makes sense, like you're just going down the reasons why you may be feeling sad rather than actually feeling sad, rather than actually being in your bed about the emotion of sadness. You see, for you, it's, I think I feel sad. That really angered me. I don't know why, but you know, maybe it's because of this, maybe it's because of that, and that in and of itself is you intellectualizing the emotion. You could be detached from your emotions, right? To where other people, when they see you, you're never sad, you're never angry, you're never upset, you're never, you know, overly happy or overly, you know, a part of the moment, because you're always intellectualizing it, if that makes sense. It's not something that is in your front-facing personality or emotions. It's something that's always in your head. You're always intellectualizing the moment as an Aquarius sun, moon, or riser with this energy. So that in and of itself can make you feel a little disconnected, right? Your need to be an individual, your need to do things differently, your inability to connect with your emotions can make you feel a bit othered or different from other people. It can make you a bit aloof. All right, and you could even, that could also be another darker side or darker quality to the Aquarian energies, that you could just be aloof. You could be off doing your thing, very distant from other people. You know, you just don't want to be around others. You could just be like, I'm off doing whatever I want to do. I'm not hanging out with you. I'm doing what I want to do. Like, you could just be very detached. Okay, so those are some of the negative qualities or the darker aspects to the Aquarian energy. Let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know if you are someone who protects your individuality to a fierce degree. Let me know if you are a rebel just for a rebellious sake. Let me know if you are someone who just wants to be different for different sake. Let me know if you are someone who can be a bit detached, a bit aloof, you know, always thinking about the future so it keeps you from the now. Let me know if those are some of the negative or darker traits that manifest for you in life, all right? This is a safe space, and by you pouring into the comments and letting us know what is true about your experience as an Aquarius, let the other Aquariuses out there feel a little bit more seen and less crazy, right? Because as an Aquarius sun, as Aquarius moon, you could sometimes feel a little crazy, like, am I a robot? And am I an alien? You know, you can feel that way. So this is your chance and opportunity to really, you know, pour into the comments and be honest and transparent and let us know and those around you to feel seen, a little bit more understood, okay? So without further ado, I am wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Pisces suns, moons, and risers, welcome to the dark side. Now for you as a Pisces sun, Pisces moon, Pisces riser, you may be no stranger to a little bit of the dark side. But for you, it's not the dark, it just is what is. It's the ether, it's the spiritual, it's the unknown, right? It's not so dark, right? So the things that people may sweep under the rug, the things that people may fear, the things that people may not understand, you understand them clearly. You understand them to a very vast degree. And you know, although that is a beauty, there are also some drawbacks that come along with this energy. You could be someone that, like with the darker traits to Piscean energy, is that you could be a bit mysterious, right? You could be someone that's a bit detached from others with this energy. You could also at times, some of the darker traits and qualities that come along with Piscean energy is that you could be overly idealistic, sometimes err on the side of delusional, erring on the side, and I mean that with the utmost respect, This is just a learning tool, and I have to get these things out just so that you know what some of the drawbacks are. So, you know, your ability to be in fantasy, your ability to be someone that is a bit detached or a bit removed from others, a bit mysterious, is equally your gift, but it's also equally a dark trait, if that makes sense, you know. And it's a very fine line that you must walk as a Pisces, because, you know, like the two fish that are connected by the cord, both feet are in both ponds, if that makes sense. You have your foot in the doorway of you being very, you know, idealistic and dreamy and, you know, what is it, like overly trusting, but also in that, that is how you stay connected. That is how you are able to communicate with the ether. That is how you are able to stay connected to the hidden realms and the hidden rhythms of life, right? So there's a very fine line that you must walk, because in that energy of itself, it can also lead you down the path of, like, you know, drug addiction or alcohol addiction or escapism, right? So don't get this energy of the dark for you. When it comes to the Piscean energy, you are no stranger to it because you are of that energy, but there's a fine line that you must walk with this energy, okay? Although it is something that may even comfort you, you may not be scared of it because it connects you to the great beyond, it connects you to God. It is something that, should you get too deep in that darkness, right, it can pull you under. And remember, like the fishes, you can either be the fish that's swimming upstream, or you could be the fish that's swimming downstream. Try to be the fish that is streaming upstream, okay? Meaning that you are someone that uses your optimism and your trust in God and your trust in the universe to have faith, to spark joy within you and spark optimism within you for you to go forward in life, rather than being the one who gets too deep in the dark, who is too mysterious, aloof, being a drug addict, you know, being someone that doesn't trust others, being someone that has given up, who is, you know, relinquished and surrendered too hard, right? There's a fine line with this energy. It really, really is, because although the lesson of a Pisces is to surrender, you must not surrender in the negative end, you know, where you surrender and you say, you know what, I just give up on life. I don't even want to try anymore. I don't even want, why try? When I try, this happens. When I try, that happens, you know. No, you must surrender to the positive degree. You know, I surrender to the plan of God, but I'm also going to do what I need to do in my human experience to, you know, carry my story out, you know. And I do feel that with every footstep that I take, that God is going to bless it. God is going to be a part of it. God is going to be in the midst. You know, that is how you, and you thinking like that, that is you being the positive fish that is streaming upstream, right? Because if you are the other fish going in the opposite direction of, you know, giving up, that is the negative side of surrender, if that makes sense, okay? And so sometimes you may resonate with, like I said, both of these things, because the Piscean energy is in the dark. It rules the darkness, you know? So this is a fine line that you must walk in this lifetime, okay? And so with this Piscean energy, do your best to try to stay positive and, you know, hopeful and optimistic, but also try your best to not be delusional or overly idealistic or, you know, in a fantasy land. But there's a fine line, okay? Because all of these things work in tandem with each other, and it is your gift, it is your superpower. When you are someone that is overly idealistic, when you are dreamy, when you are someone that is a little mysterious and doing your own thing, that is where God pours into your life. So, you know, this is, I feel like with the Pisces energy, you kind of turned my little video upside down on its head, because the Piscean energy is, it's supposed to be a little hidden. It's supposed to be a little dark. It's supposed to be a little out of the way. But I do want to ensure that you as a Pisces are someone that stays on the positive side of that darkness, if that makes sense. You know, turn your pain into art, turn your pain into, you know, spiritual lessons and blessings. Try to be someone that is empathetic, but try your best not to go in the opposite direction of being someone that allows their emotions and their sensitivity of life to pull them under in the opposite direction, because those are some of the darker traits that may manifest. Is that because you feel so much, you may turn into a drug addict, or you may be someone who escapes from the world or doesn't want anyone around you, or just wants to be mysterious and you just want to do your own thing, or you may be overly idealistic, overly dreamy. So try to really, really walk that fine line. It's a tightrope. It really, really is, okay? So let me know if any of these things resonate with you, okay? I am wishing you all the best. much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye.